Blinded by the light, wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night. Blinded by the light, wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night. Blinded by the light.
So, is everyone up on their astronomy? Did you know that there's a stoner star? It's called Doobie. And man, does it ever burn bright. It's even the brightest star in the Little Dipper. You know what they say?
It's better to burn out than to fade away.
Fucking right. That's why Daryl and me burn our bridges at both ends. Which is fine, as long as you're not burning the dynamite wick at both ends. That could blow up in your face. And speaking of blowing up in your face, anyone want a super toke? Just put your lips up to the monitor. Then we'll huff and we'll puff and blow your minds out. But besides that, let's not gloss over the entire star that we now have to worship. And I use the term worship extremely loosely. But every time you're smoking one outside, aim that spliff towards a Little Dipper and help the Doobie star burn all that much brighter. And maybe stoners around the world will burn that much brighter too. So Daryl, do you think it was Carl Sagan that found that star and named it?
I don't know.
Well, there's billions and billions of people out there. There's only one stoner scientist amongst them. It's at least proof of their existence. Oh, and aliens definitely exist. Because we're alien snake-like dudes that abduct people and give them anal tokes or something stupid like that. I don't care how high I would get. That's a one-way natural gas valve with a no entry sign. And speaking of large gas bag planets full of hot air, I'll shut up now. But the show must go on.
Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside.
There's another one of a million celebrities on weed.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Okay, this time we're going a bit back in time, but not in a hot tub. It's a quote from Robert Mitchum. Robert Mitchum was a very famous actor from the dark ages of entertainment. He was in over 130 movies, including the original Cape Fear, and even Scrooged with Bill Murray, among many others, of course. So when Mitchum, who served time for marijuana possession, was asked what it was like in jail, he replied, "It's like Palm Springs without the riffraff." His arrest for marijuana possession in the late 1940s was one of the first times a major actor had been jailed for his crime. According to Lee Server's 2001 biography, Robert Mitchum, Baby I Don't Care, he was still smoking pot into his old age, and he died at 80 years old. I guess he must have been smoking some pretty shit pot, because it took over 60 years to kill him. Oh, that must be what the anti-druggists mean, I guess. Weed would eventually kill you if old age doesn't. Which it does. But obviously weed doesn't really. Like I keep telling everyone, it's probably the filters that are used in cigarettes that's causing most of the cancers. Are roll-your-own tobacco smokers getting cancer too? Any weed. This is from the UK Cannabis Internet Activists at ukcia.org. Robert Mitchum encountered marijuana early, if not as a young teenager when he was picked up for vagrancy and sent to join a chain gang in the Savannah swamplands. Then worse than it is now. Then certainly during the Depression era, where he lived as a hobo life, riding the rails across country from coast to coast with the aristocracy of the road. Mitchum had smoked joints when he worked the punch press at the Toledo factory in 1936, and he toked when he shaping steel for Lockheed. And when he found himself a softer gig as an actor and began to get into the movies, Mr. Mitchum didn't change his ways. On the night of August 31st, 1948, two narcs were staking out a building in the Laurel Canyon district that the cops called Reefer Resort. That's where I want to stay. They observed Mitchum as he arrived around midnight with a buddy. They watched the two men being welcomed by the householder, a 20-year-old platinum blonde actress called Lisa Leeds, and her roommate. Finally, hiding below the windowsill, they saw Mitchum spark up a joint, and at that point, they busted in through the door without knocking. Now, of course, we got to wonder if some other person was being murdered while these pervasive police officers were hassling pot smokers. They can't deal with your bike being stolen because they're too busy solving big crimes like murder or pot smokers. Maybe we ought to be flattered, or they ought to be flattened. One or the other. And here's another end to this segment. Okay, here's another fairly quick editorial. Okay, I was watching an episode of The View the other day. It's not my favorite show or anything, but the subjects are pretty interesting sometimes. But on this episode, they were talking about addictions. So, of course, it piqued my interest a little, while I was speaking out on some good hash. Anyway, I just want to thank and condone the fact that they were actually treating addicts like real human beings. They had Mackenzie Phillips on and said it's not what addicts do with the addiction, but what they do because of the addiction. In other words, no one's an addict just because they do drugs or have sex. It's the effect the addiction has on their lives and the people they deal with. A crackhead can still work, doesn't steal or ruin relationships or that kind of thing. And there's really only the medical aspect of addiction, and maybe the cost. And since when we really jail people for medical problems? I thought leper colonies were a thing of the past. Guess not, though. One viewer even went on to comment how we're crackheads and they don't care what we have to say. Well, we aren't. But if that person is a stoner, they're also a bit of a hypocrite too, aren't they? Addicts are scum of the earth, but I'm a stoner, and I'm okay. Well, not according to some others, are we?
I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. I sleep all night and I work all day.
He's a lumberjack and he's okay. He sleeps all night and he works all day.
Well, that's it for this show. Tune in next week for more stoner stuff as usual. And on the next show, we're going to try to start giving away a free t-shirt to one lucky subscriber or friend. We'll also have quite a few on other video sharing sites and on MySpace or Twitter, so the odds aren't quite as good as you might think. But all you need to do is fill out a thing on the website, and you'll automatically be entered in the contest. Of course, we'll need to create a membership in the store because we need to know, where to send it and which shirt you want and stuff. But that's it. And then we start up our fan club. You're going to also have the option to be automatically signed up for that as well. We're really just starting, folks, so jump on the bandwagon early and get more swag than everyone else. Because we're going to be giving all we can back to stoners. But for now, ciao for now. Keep those doobie fires burning.